It's time.
Jumping into the NFL, I like starting at the bottom, actually. Kind of a mixed bag. We'll start with the overall. Overall, I was in last, 11-7. Stoy was in second, 12-6. Cole was in first, 13-5. Cole had a big week.
Picks are phenomenal.
Casino
picks. Didn't win any money at the casino.
Bets down below. Indy just didn't do it. Carolina
Indy's
just didn't do
bad.
it. Minnesota was a lock for Cole. I don't understand how they're bad.
First of all, Minnesota, we'll talk about it in their game, but Indy's bad.
Spread locks. Dallas -3.
Let's get it.
Cooper Rush is the truth. 15-point win. Good for him.
Just easy.
I took the Raiders -2.5. They got that. The Jags +6.5. The Jags played.
It came out swinging.
Well, Trevor Lawrence couldn't hold on to the ball. That's a different
No.
game if he holds on to the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he fumbled twice without getting hit. Sorry, but things you can't do at any level of football.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Give the ball to the other team I say on purpose. Give the ball to the other team without the other team taking it from you. Here you go.
As it stands, though,
Twice.
it stands, that's two.
He had 5 fumbles in the game.
As it stands,
Only 4 were recovered and 2 were unforced.
As it stands, can we argue that that's two, the way that they're playing and the way that everything's shaping up right now, 2 top 5 teams in the NFL that just played that football game?
I'll
Between
give
the Eagles and Jags
like top 7, but the Eagles 100%.
Okay.
Eagles are the best.
And that's
team.
fair. That's fair. Top 7's very, very fair.
I mean, and ultimately, like, as weird as it sounds, like, it's not the defensive issues for the Jags, which it's been for the last. And that's what it was projected to be this year. They were projected to kind of look like the Lions, I feel like.
Yeah.
Whereas their defense has been strong with their offense. But the Eagles are so far the best team in the NFC.
NFL.
Yeah.
No. Stop it.
He's still a Bills guy.
And Chiefs. The Chiefs have looked.
Bills lost.
I mean, you can say what you want. The Chiefs'
lost.
defense this year is the reason why.
I'm just saying the Bills should have 2.
Who's their cornerback?
Well, the
Bills
are
Chardarius something.
I know.
That's the
why
problem.
the Phillies
And they
right
can't,
now are the
they
best.
can't get a first down on 3rd and 1.
Which is
They're terrible on 3rd and short.
Of teams to think about that. I wouldn't even think
Baffling because they won't ever. Allen doesn't know how to do it.
Oh, no, he's a Niners
I don't
guy.
understand that.
And so they don't.
It's the easiest thing in the world.
And then they just try to hand off.
And their old line's not strong enough to do that right now.
Well, I mean, how many teams in the NFL struggle on the goal line? Half of them.
Because they don't sneak the ball also.
Well, and there's just the only team that's creativity
is the Chiefs.
Like has any creativity inside the 5-yard line is the Chiefs.
Right.
And also you have Mahomes running
in the
around
Jets.
shooting jump shots into the end zone.
Speaking of that,
And
why
the
has
Jets.
the NFL's copycat league? Why haven't they copycatted the red zone stuff?
You have to have, as a play caller, you can't shrivel.
Okay.
And people, I don't care what.
Andy
at
Reid
every
just
level
slings those big old balls out, and just,
but he's known for it.
But
You interview other you hear interviews of other coaches and everything like that. Andy Reid, nicest guy in the NFL. Da 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 da. Cut your throat on the field, and that's because he's not afraid to make any play call. No. Now that might be to a detriment with his clock management. Might be a detriment to why he's lost some football games he should have won. As far as let's run the football, let's run the clock down type of thing. But it's also the same reason that he'll win games by 4 touchdowns and he'll embarrass you a little bit on the field
very fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I love that. I love it.
I'll take that every day of the week over the 4th and 1 lineup and plunge into the line.
We got 2 more left on that one.
Yeah, down to the bottom.
Yep.
Over under lock, Miami Cincy for
Thursday unders.
47.5. That hit. What was it? What was the final score of that? 24-17? 41?
20. It was 42. 27-15.
It's close.
Nope.
Over under lock for myself. I took the Chargers Houston under 44.5. I don't know when these teams just decided to start going.
That was ridiculous.
But they did. I didn't like that. And then Cole took the Colts Titans, we talked about it earlier. 42 is his number, 42 and a half. Ended up at 41.
Boy, you got lucky on that one.
And then DGen picks. Cole and I took the Jags. They lost that. And then Stoy took the Pats. 360.
No shots on those.
No, you didn't. I mean, Bailey Zappi played well.
He actually did.
They didn't let him play.
Yeah, the
Patriots handcuffed him. That's why they lost that game.
So here is one thing.
Agreed.
And then
was Romo announcing
that game? Iowa situations where we're gonna run twice and then we're gonna pass, and then Green Bay has really good pass rushers when they know you're gonna pass.
I believe Romo was announcing that game, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So he even said it himself. He's like, "What you're bringing in now is just sheer raw instinct and talent. Let him play.
Let him fly."
They didn't.
And
they should have won.
He's the most talented quarterback on their roster.
Oh yeah,
Mac Jones is a better right now NFL structured quarterback, especially for that system. Bailey Zappi is
a playmaker.
Like, that's all he did in college.
There's a reason.
He's a hilltopper, baby.
There's a reason that they drafted him. Now, is it Brian Hoyer is probably going to retire, whatever.
Right.
Well, you bring Brian Hoyer. You need a veteran. You can't have.
But one of the tweets.
Two young.
Did I send it?
But
I didn't send it.
Like Jones and Hoyer running off the same. That's the problem.
Right
those two are running off of the same script.
Yeah, Zappi's is different.
Zappi just needs to be able to sling it a little bit more.
Which is why I don't think he fits.
It's hard to change that mid game too. So maybe this week is a little bit different.
Yeah, but I mean, you're in it against the Packers,
and the Lions are going to score this weekend though. Yeah. A little preview. A game that looks boring but could be real fun. Because the Lions are in it.
Because the Lions are.
It's like an arena football game every time the Lions play.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on over to the recap of the games.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually putting in our Twitter so we can all look at this. This is one that I forgot to put in there. And why isn't it pasting?
Because it wasn't already in there.
But it's this picture of this kid just pissed off, right? And just his veins popping out. It says, Patriots fans trying not to compare Bailey Zappi to another late-round draft pick that started his career as a backup.
It's fair.
It's fair. It's valid.
Because at that point, Bailey Zappi was, I think it was when he was his first however many was rough, and then he was 10 of 13 for 126 yards and a touchdown or something like that. People are like, okay, all right.
Second coming. We'll start with the Cleveland-Atlanta game. Unfortunate in terms of it going over because Marcus Mariota is an absolute shit show when the ball's in his hand late in the game and we're about to score a touchdown. Just saying, he dropped a shotgun snap.
It's fine.
Right in his chest.
It's fine. Under.
No, it should have went over.
It's under.
Speaking of
boy,
bad
did we run the damn football.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since, work done days. It's been a while.
How do you say his last name?
Algier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and Caleb Huntley.
Woo!
Those boys were running.
So speaking of bad fumbles, though, we'll get to it later. I won't.
But were they running because Cleveland can't stop the run, or because they're good at running? They've been pretty consistent this year.
They've been. Yeah, they can run the football.
Yeah.
Also, you can't rely on Mariota. He was 7 for 19.
Yeah.
We had 7 completed passes and won a football game.
There's very few athletes that are
out.
multi-positional athletes in the NFL. I mean, you have obviously your Debo who can run the ball well and catch the ball very, very well. Cordero Patterson he's a difference maker, and I hate saying that because he was a Viking for a long time and he couldn't. But no, he couldn't catch the ball worth a shit.
Well, he can catch the ball now.
No, but he returned. They used him as a returner. And
he was good as a returner,
as a deep threat, but you're not just going to hand the ball to him when you've got Dalvin Cook or Adrian Peterson back there.
Yeah, you're not wrong. However, he's on the IR, so can we not talk about him for a few weeks?
But I'm saying he is a game-changing athlete that But the Percy Harvin was that kind of first coming of a wide receiver running back duo, and then you had Ty Montgomery as a hybrid, wearing 88 in the backfield, and then you got Debo's, you got Debo's, you got Cordero Patterson's. Those hybrid guys they're fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, you got Taysom Hill, who
was
incorporated into that completely.
Is he a tight end? Is he
running
an
back?
H-back? Is he a running back?
Fullback. Full tight end.
He's on
personal protector.
He's on
back.
Long snapper.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
he can do it all.
I think he is a personal. Is he a personal protector?
He was.
He was.
I don't know if he's
I think he's actually on the wing now.
He probably,
I don't think he's playing.
He
a
probably
personal
isn't
protector.
now that Winston was down. But
I think he's on the wing because he can run routes and catch the ball.
That's fair.
Well, they had him at personal protector so he could throw the ball,
Right,
and run the ball.
Punters can throw. The Vikings did it.
Yeah.
well, like the Steelers have tried to use Claypool a little bit in that role, but they haven't. The problem is like commit to it.
Yeah.
If you know the guy can do it, like that's what the 49ers have done with Debo, and that's what the Falcons did with Patterson, that nobody else has done, is do it.
Was it Claypool?
Like,
Claypool or Juju? One of the two was a quarterback, like in high school and maybe early college or something like that. One of the two.
Right.
So like,
but
bringing those guys in, even at a direct snap or a wildcat or a double pass or something along those lines, like that'd be what?
Good. We just got an alert that we're going live at 5:30 when we're
Already
currently live.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that's my problem with the NFL is like it feels like a lot of those teams have like too much pride, or the offensive coordinators have, they want it to be more of a, 5 plays a game or whatever, and it's like, no, like if you have the guys, then you have the ability to be that multiple, and the defense that week has to plan for it.
It can't be a gimmick.
Speak to that a little bit from a defensive perspective on preparing for a team that has a gimmick guy in any form, whether it be, what we're talking about, a dual threat quarterback or anything like that. How much more preparation goes into that than what would go into a normal week of lining up?
Simply put, double.
Yeah.
Because last week I talked about reading our reads as a linebacker from, guard to nearest back, or doesn't matter, right? We have our reads. When you have a gimmick guy, your read now is, where is he? How is he lined up? Now I got to do the percentages of what plays are ran from where he is in that position. Mm-hmm. And my read really now is I'm looking at him and not our typical normal reads.
Right. Now, are you assigning a guy typically, so for a quarterback, are you assigning a guy to match him on every play? I mean, it's tougher to do as a receiver running back just because they can line up multiple spots. Obviously, quarterbacks lining up in the same spot. So
no matchup changes.
Okay.
You're going to be alerted to certain plays, which then limits our playbook. Right. We can't run certain blitzes. We can't do certain line games because if we line game the wrong way and he's doing his own read, he's either one-on-one with our end, which fine, but not great, or we slanted away from it, and now there's nobody except for a corner hopefully coming down or a safety coming down, and that's not a win-win either.
Right.
So it's more about those types of plays, and then it's really hard. It's harder when it's a quarterback because guess what? You have to account for him now. Usually you don't have to account for a quarterback.
But if he can't, obviously it becomes easier if he can't throw.
It becomes easier if you can't throw unless you're in the red zone because everyone can throw in the red zone.
I mean,
to a degree.
But if you're locking up, because at that point you're probably going man-to-man. You're either in 1 or 0.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're making that guy make some type of accuracy throw or timing throw, which you would see on film that he's probably not as comfortable with.
Correct. But also that's very dangerous because we know his man, if all the backs are turned, they run 4 verts and he scrambles.
Right, but you've got an extra guy to account for him, right?
Yeah. Hopefully you have that athlete who can.
That's my point.
Right.
Is like if you do, you feel okay.
Right.
And if you don't,
but he's
going to have a day.
It also slows down the pass rush.
Right.
Because now they're lane rushing and not just pass rushing. Mm-hmm. The difference is that they want to stay in their lanes to keep him in the pocket because if he's not a good thrower, keep him in the pocket, please.
Mm-hmm.
If not, let's get after him, just get to him.
Right.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah, that's
right?
Yep. No, that's good.
But for like a running back, that type of change, usually you'll play more nickel because you'd rather have some DB on him coming out as opposed to a linebacker coming out.
Oh, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
All right.
Washington, Dallas. How you feeling? How you feeling about the boys? Quarterback controversy?
I have one.
Dak wants to come back this week.
I know.
I don't think he will this week, but next week.
First of all, there's no reason to rush him back.
Next week, what happens?
No pun intended. But my problem is like Dak will come back. He's a starting quarterback. We're paying him it's even more of a thing than even.
Do you guys
Zeke.
have a? Do you have a? I was gonna say, do you have a Zeke?
But like he has to, and I say this like, and it seems very obvious, but like he has to go back to being more like doing what Cooper Rush did. Like when Dallas was solid on offense, Dak did his job. Like he didn't overdo his job. He was solid, and in week 1, he was not.
Correct.
Now, the overreaction fan in me wants to say that Cooper Rush is just doing a better job at being solid and playing to what is a, right now, very above average defense.
Defense is looking
and
good.
So, like, Dak needs to revert a little bit to what he was when he started as a Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
And didn't get,
But he has been trained so much that my defense isn't good and that I have to do more. I have to throw 50 times a game. Not the Cowboy way. And not, like, specifically not what the roster is built to or for currently. And that's what Rush has done so good of. Take care of the ball. Deliver on third down. Deliver when it matters. Second half, third downs, crunch time. He's been just solid. And nothing's going to blow you away. Nothing that says that this guy should start 15 games this year or anything like that. But the hope is that Dak returns and understands I need my accuracy to return. I need to depend on my backs. I need to hit my checkdowns. I need to be okay punting. And then I need to be great in the fourth quarter. And all of those things he's done throughout his career, but now we need to put it all together when he comes back. And so, like, that's what makes me nervous is that we don't have to be great in this year's NFL to win a playoff game, 2 playoff games. We just need to be solid. And what he wasn't in week 1 was solid. He was one of the worst NFL performers at the quarterback position this year, period. And so hopefully this time lets him see. Lets him takes the.
You go at Rams, at Eagles, home Lions, home Bears, bye week.
Mm-hmm. So you got to go 2-2.
Dak wants to come back this week. I don't think it's realistic. He could potentially come back at Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
You beat the Rams. Should they ride the hot hand of Rush against the Eagles or no?
Ultimately, if he's 100%, he's going to play. And, like, that's what I want is just I want 100% Dak. I don't want 80%. I've only practiced once this week, but I'm going to return because I'm the guy. And
so
like Dak's
he's gonna do that.
Right.
Can Jerry shut him down if he's only at
My guess is no.
No.
But ultimately, like, what you're asking me what I want.
Right.
That's what I want. Like, and I don't care if we go 0-2 in the next 2 games. That, to me, that's irrelevant. Like, Cooper Rush is undefeated at this point. So a loss or 2, like, doesn't change my view of Cooper Rush. Like, how he plays or doesn't play doesn't impact how I want. Like, we're already above expectation for who we've played and how we've played. Yeah. So therefore, like, those next 2 games, Lions Bears, just have to be wins.
They would have to be. My concern.
So they're your 5-3 going into the bye, right?
Right. My concern is that Dak comes back for the Eagles. That's potentially going to be a shootout. Potentially.
No, I mean,
the Lions are going to score potentially.
Yeah, but I mean, those are all.
So, are you going to force Dak right back into?
You can run the ball against the Lions.
Yeah, well, you can.
And the Eagles is just going to be. That's going to be an NFC East
low scoring thing. But there's high powered offenses there.
Well,
potentially, but are you forcing Dak into a position to try to make plays because of that feeling?
Not if you're like, and this goes into maybe even a coach's corners conversation is like the mismanagement by NFL coaches this year of games.
We did that last year.
Remember game, but like
2 years in a row.
But I'm talking about like this year. I feel like it's even like game flow. It's attention to detail on how we want to play this game, specifically against this team. And it's like across the board of just miserable fails on doing things that are going to prepare me to be best at playoff time or best for next week or, whatever it may be. And I feel like even compared to last year was just a lot of like end of game questioning. Like this year, I'm feeling more of like just an overall, like, what are you trying to prepare your team for in order to be the most successful when it matters the most, which in the NFL is the last 6 to 8 weeks of the season. And I feel like there's just a lot of coaches failing their teams in that perspective. And that's what we're going to see from the Cowboys in the next 2 weeks is, are you preparing for the next 2 weeks or are you preparing for actually winning a playoff game?
Right.
And the next 2 weeks are going to tell me a lot.
All right.
Because I feel really good as a Cowboys fan right now, and I don't get to say that very often.
No, you don't.
Because we're playing good football, and we're still committing too many penalties.
Usually when you guys start to feel good,
well, I mean, it's going to go downhill.
When things go downhill. So
we've got the people in place to fail us.
Right?
Yep.
Minnesota, New Orleans. By the way, I would like to put this out here that Ryan decided to go against us on two Goon locks and cost us. I'm just putting it out there. Went with us on 1 or in 2. We would have been 2-2 if you would have just rode with the squad. Minnesota game and the Dallas game. Just saying.
I mean, but we goon locked on other ones. So
I said we would have been 2-2. It would have been a lot better than 0-2. Okay.
To be fair, that game ended at 42 points. So it wasn't. The Minnesota New Orleans game ended at 42 points.
It shouldn't have. 43 points, by the way. Ended at 43 points.
Was it 28-25? Oh, it was 28-25. Yes, it was a 3-point game.
You guys remember the right thing on the kicker?
Wait, 28 and 25 is 53, guys.
Yeah, 53. Yeah. What are you doing here?
I messed that up. I was just so frustrated at how bad they played.
Say that game definitely went up. I was like,
which changes the thing below to a tie break with me, but I still won the tiebreaker, so it was still your shitty shot.
No, you would lose to me because I'd be 12.
Oh,
and 6.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I'm still gonna take it because I pulled it out of the bag.
Well, you also messed that up, so it's also true.
Okay.
Anywho.
I feel better. I feel better now. But anyways, so
math is hard.
This is a prime example of just very vanilla play.
You still have to take a shitty shot, by the way.
Very vanilla play calling inside the goal line that you were talking about earlier. Like that's what the Vikings have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
They got creative 1 or 2 times. When they got creative, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I believe it was last week. There was a motion, fake toss, hit Thielen in the back of the end zone. Mm-hmm. Get some movement, get some defensive guys moving around, hit him wide open in the back of the end zone. There wasn't a lot of that. There was running up the middle, bootleg stuff, which on the one bootleg, Kirk Cousins came out and said, openly admitted that he was just thinking Munt the whole time.
Deep Eddie Lime.
Thinking Munt the whole time when
that's a good pull.
Adam Thielen was just standing in the corner of the end zone by himself.
Right.
Now,
by the way, this is the second season that Kirk Cousins cost me money because he won't throw to Thielen.
I think he
touchdown.
It's white on white crime.
It was a boost. Plus one here's for him to have a touchdown.
Here's what confuses me the most about like the Thielen or the Kevin O'Connell. Clearly, you see how much influence Sean McVay had in that offense, and the creativity came from him rather than Kevin O'Connell.
100%.
Kevin O'Connell has shown glimpses of it, right?
Yeah,
that he learned
he's
stuff,
scared.
But he doesn't.
Ooh, that's tart.
But he doesn't. Lime. But he does not do that. Like he doesn't do. You could use an Adam Thielen absolutely like you use a Cooper Kupp.
You should use him like that.
And that's what he did week 1 against the Packers with Justin Jefferson.
Well,
And,
I don't know if that's fair because the Packers just let Justin Jefferson run all over the field.
But at the same time, he was moving him to the slot. He was moving him outside. He was putting him in motion. He was doing Cooper Kupp.
He's not doing that now, though?
Not as much, no.
That baffled. I mean, that to my point.
He didn't do it as much as, and also they have.
Why would you not make your best player the most multiple player on your team every game?
I don't know. I think it's because
it's been multiple weeks.
I think it's because more often than not, what he's trying to do is he just isolates Justin Jefferson rather than move him around, which I don't understand. Again,
but that's not what he did week 1, right?
No, week 1 he was in motion. He was running a lot of crossing routes, a lot of digs, getting him across the field, making him the backside drag.
Impossible for one person to lock on him, or for them to lock a double team.
Because how many times does Justin Jefferson runs away from defenders?
Correct.
Let him run away from defenders. I don't care if I run a boot to this side and Justin Jefferson is coming on a drag. Unless you have help on the other side of the field, he's going to run away from that cornerback or linebacker or safety, whoever's with him. He's going to run away from that.
And that's when you're going to get the most time to throw.
And if you're playing in a zone, he's a smart enough receiver to sit in a zone and find a zone to sit in. Now, what I will say is Justin Jefferson has a case of the drops right now.
He's always been a drop guy, a high drop guy, high drop rate guy.
Not how he's been this year.
No, but I'm
not
saying
even near that.
He's always been a drop guy.
He is. He drops balls. Don't get me wrong, but
thanks. So you're going to have those.
I think he's just so frustrated because he saw the success he had in week 1, and he thinks, okay, I can emulate that every single week, and it has not happened.
He should.
Now his skill level, yes, but he has not emulated that every single week.
I feel like the most we've.
So nonetheless. Minnesota, New Orleans. New Orleans is not a good team, but I think it shows.
I don't like your defense right now.
No, well, it's because all they do is run a shell, and it works against the Packers, but it doesn't work against everybody else.
The Saints didn't have anybody. They had Taysom Hill.
But timeout. So this is my own personal opinion. Is there levels in the NFL? Absolutely, but you're still in the NFL. They're still very, very, very good players.
Yeah. But they didn't have 3 of their stars on offense.
Okay. Andy Dalton to Jameis Winston, I don't think is that big of a gap.
Okay, next.
Kamara
didn't play.
Michael Thomas.
Kamara
and they had an O-lineman.
Michael Thomas hasn't played hardly all year and hasn't played
when
well.
he played the first 2 games, he had up 100
yeah,
plus yards.
And they lost an O-lineman. So that's the 3 I don't give a shit about.
That
James.
and what Michael Thomas does for that offense is allows their 2 fast guys
also
to go
Kamara.
down the field.
And Kamara, you want to talk about screwing up how you cover?
So those 2 I will say, but I don't
think
think
a fantasy team.
Those 2 I will say 100%, but I do not think that the whole Jameis Winston thing, because I think Andy Dalton could easily be starting in Seattle. Could probably be starting in New York.
I don't disagree with Dalton. The problem is if Dalton has Michael Thomas and Dalton has Alvin Kamara,
they score. They also didn't have a left tackle.
You're
left
right.
Tackle backup. So
you guys, I'm not
those
saying,
which is why you had to win this game, and you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
their
just saying
defense
did
like
not
I
look
said.
good. Like I said,
their defense.
Lock it up.
Their defense wasn't good, but New Orleans defense
scares me.
New Orleans defensive front looked great.
Saints defense is really good.
They are
that's
really
not
good.
I'm just saying that your defense,
which for me is a
Red
little
flag.
bit more promising that the Vikings put up 28 against that defense because they are good. But I am 100% behind you, and their defense is struggling right now, and they need to figure it.
They need to figure it out.
Anyways, I don't like it when you're behind me.
Let's get to Thursday night football. Really, we talked about this one. If Tua plays, it's gonna be a really good game. If Tua doesn't play, since he's gonna win, and our original bet was on that, he decided to get ragdolled, and that's what happened. Now, that being said, we've hit upon the concussion part. If you have not heard that, it's in the beginning of the podcast. Go to it. But the culmination of that, he should not play for at least a month, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens there. Since he's improving, I think from the beginning of the year, I think they're getting a little better.
They have too many weapons.
But I love their whiteout stuff. It looked good.
Yeah,
I'll just put it that way. But Thursday Night Football is
that
trash.
Jersey game was solid.
It really was. And the end zones?
Both sides.
Oh, absolutely. Loved it. So we'll just move quickly on that. Sunday Night Football with KC and Tampa Bay. It was a 10-point game, but boy, it wasn't a 10-point game.
Kansas City, Mahomes threw a late interception in that game that
I don't know why they were throwing.
In vintage Brady would have a better Bucs team, and maybe even a Bucs team later this year that's healthy would have taken advantage of that and made that a game at the end. There was just no inspiration even after the pick.
Well, they have O-line issues. We've talked about it. They've had so many people
they
hurt.
have.
They're just they're just not in sync.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is fine, except for
Right.
Casey exposed the hell out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. So
yeah,
let's
very enjoyable game. But
absolutely.
It'll
be interesting this week.
We all have the under there, and I don't really. We thought
Casey hasn't scored that much, and Tampa Bay's defense is really good, and Tampa Bay hasn't scored.
Tampa. So
that was the best. That was the best.
I was okay losing that one because I was like,
that's the best offense Tampa Bay has had.
That's the best offense KC's had.
Yeah,
fair.
So
both sides.
And then Monday Night Football, man, another pick six by Stafford.
We didn't read
field
this.
Goals aren't good.
This so
I blame you.
That's fine.
Yep.
The problem is this is the NFC West cycle. So this was the misread, is that the Rams own the Cardinals, who own the 49ers, who own the Rams.
And they all own the Seahawks? Just kidding.
I mean,
they're
relatively speaking, this year specifically.
Yeah. And the
but
Niners own the
if
Rams.
you look at
they're like 8.
The stats, it's like 8 of the last 10.
Right.
And it's every one of them. So when we get a Cardinals 49ers game at, I don't know when that game
Whenever it is.
But
we're going with the other way.
The Cardinals are going to be favorites in that game.
This is your
job.
job.
And the reason is because of that.
This is your job.
But the NFC West is always, what's that?
This is your job to put those out before.
Do you remember the state of mind I was in when I spoke to you last week?
Yeah. Okay.
Spoke to you last week.
So
2 different times.
This is on Cole.
Yes. But I saw that. Well, and I revisited the line last night when I was talking to a buddy of mine. I was like, why are the 49ers favored in this game?
And that's
that's why.
Not literally the paper shouldn't show that. That's why.
Right. So yeah. So
okay.
That's what happened in that game. Is just that the 49ers out-scheme the Rams.
That was a good game.
They have their number.
All right. Let's get into college football. Get our picks going. I screwed that up.
Ryan, talk about all these great games you picked.
You can't tell me that they're not good games.
No, I think it's fun. We touched on this a little bit earlier. With all the games that
beginning of the year, nobody's
thought.
saying this. Maybe nope. Actually, nope.
Yeah.
None of them. Nope. There's one team, and there's 2 teams out of these 4.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3 or 2 teams out of these 6. Sorry, maybe 3 out of 6 that we could have considered talking about at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee, Utah, and LSU.
Yeah,
I didn't see
the ones on here.
I didn't see TCU, Kansas, and UCLA being in there. But all good teams right now.
Which of those teams, TCU, Kansas, UCLA, and Tennessee, are the undefeated teams?
UCLA
said everyone.
Yeah.
Wait,
what? KU? Let's go.
So we can start with number 11 Utah traveling to number 18 UCLA, undefeated number 18 UCLA.
Oh, this is a 2:30.
65.5 is the total, and Utah is favored by 4. FanDuel.
I'm trying to pull up draft.
Will fans show up to UCLA for this game?
No.
Have they?
Have you seen the embarrassing photos?
There's been 4 people there.
So
there's more people at Drake games.
There was also some embarrassing stuff.
Bad.
There was also a lot of people
Drake might not
talking
win a game.
smack.
I don't understand.
There was a ton of people talking smack about Miami, University of Miami, not having a ton of fans at their games. And I didn't realize that Miami isn't a very big college.
No.
So me thinking Miami, just this big city,
private school,
just a big city.
For me, I'm thinking, okay,
Coral
this is
Gables
huge.
is small community, small school.
Right. But what I'm thinking is, this is a big school.
UCLA plays at the damn Rose Bowl, guys.
Oh,
that's different. This is like the biggest, one of the biggest animals.
Back up. They play at the Rose Bowl. They don't play
in the Rose Bowl.
They don't play. Yeah, right. They don't play.
They play at. I said at.
I know. No. I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to say at the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl, when we think about it, and regardless if it's an actual bowl game or not, you think of ton of fans, great atmosphere.
Yeah.
I'm saying they play at a stadium that is named the Rose Bowl. Not they're playing at the actual, not the actual Rose Bowl.
But
I think it needed
nobody showing up. Is it?
They might as well play at a parking lot.
Nebraska.
I think
you
it
know
needed
how many
watered down
games
a little bit,
Nebraska has sold out in a row?
Skittles now.
People show up to Nebraska games.
True.
We're not showing
to
up.
Be fair, it's LA compared to
a tenth of the people are showing up to UCLA games as showing up to
no
Nebraska
one shows
games.
up for what? Who shows up for what in LA besides the Lakers?
I don't know, but I get it.
The Dodgers.
Well,
all year?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't
so
know
like,
that
what impact does that have? Like that game being in UCLA has to be a deterrent to Utah, from a fact that like there's no fandom.
That's why I don't know why it's only 4.
Maybe
it's just because is UCLA that good?
It's 4.5.
I mean, they made
we're giving it 4.5.
Look like an idiot.
I don't know, you guys.
I mean,
this is Washington.
This is the only thing that's not simple for me is the
and
total.
Utah's just not that good this year.
These are high totals. This is what I love about this because it kind of does bring a little bit of intrigue into me. But I'm going Utah under.
I really don't know.
I'm going recency bias, which is a terrible way to go, but I'm going UCLA on both sides, and I'm taking the under as well.
I mean, I'm taking the under, but let's just ride that.
I don't even know if that's a good idea. That might be the only thing that's a lock.
I have no idea. Just give me.
Hey, just go with a Ryan.
And hedge it. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah,
stole my thunder.
What a bitch.
Well, let me go Utah.
What did I hedge?
Utah, UCLA. No, you typically do that.
You're the hedger.
You're the hedger. I'm going to.
No. I'm a line player. I play the hook.
We call you the hedger.
I just want everyone to know betting
I'm the
wise.
Hashling
You might as well be Sonic.
The bet in this, can we all agree on this at least? The bet in this game is the over-under?
Yeah.
Like that's where your confidence lies?
I don't even, I can't say that. I don't know these teams.
Of these three things is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Like you have to pick one. I would say that's where my confidence lies. Otherwise, I'm staying away from this game. Actually, I am entirely staying away from
this game
for my own money.
No, the money was even on that.
2 foot pole.
So I went by and found all the money, like where the money was. At the
Heavy money.
Heavy. That is true. Money. No. On the over-unders, I did go just money.
Well,
and then I crossed
money's
out.
on UCLA, actually, in DraftKings, just to let you know. All right.
That's because they got the hook.
Old Smoky Top, kind of a play on Tennessee here.
You bet your ass
Tennessee
it is.
LSU.
Mm-hmm.
LSU's not. No, I don't think it's a good football team.
No, they're competitive this year at least. They weren't competitive last year.
No, but no, not to me. That 2.5 Tennessee.
Yeah.
Give me Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Not even like I'm not.
That is the line, and the money is there.
I don't know when they're playing.
The money's there.
Of course, it should be.
It's in Death Valley. Is it a night game?
I don't know, because we should write these things down.
The longer you scroll, the more it tells me it is.
It's not, because I was in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So it's an 11 o'clock game.
Oh yeah.
It's 3 on DraftKings and 64.
A game.
Now,
this is heavy money.
It's even across the board.
I got Tennessee over.
I'm on Tennessee and the under. Strictly from a SEC under.
I mean, I'm leaning.
Perspective.
Forget the SEC unders, Brian. That was you last week.
100%.
And they worked out very
I only
well.
yell at you when I think you're wrong.
And
that doesn't mean that you're
so
wrong.
weekly.
Oh yeah. I'm on roll.
And I'm only talking about
under.
you hedging when I don't hedge.
Tennessee under.
10-10 under.
63.5 is just a lot of points.
Okay, now you guys
in
can't.
any NSC match or SEC matchup.
Because like 31-28 doesn't hit the over there.
So I went first in this, so now you guys can't say that I ruined the Goon Lock because although my pick is
I don't
different.
think LSU can score 28 points.
No, I don't either.
And do you think Tennessee's going to score more than 35?
Yeah, Hendon Hooker is the truth.
No, the truth.
All right, did you type my stuff in
Yeah.
on the Utah UCLA?
What did you?
I didn't touch anything. I just realized I'm not in.
I typed in the under.
Yeah.
And you took. Did you take UCLA or Utah?
I went Utah UCLA.
Okay.
Remember?
Yes, you
talk about this.
He sonicked.
Did you get that?
I was looking at the
hedgehog.
Yeah,
He's a hedgehog.
No,
Hey,
I'm
Ryan?
trying to decide if I want to call that
or
or if I want to call Ryan Sonic.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, easy.
Easy. It's the hair.
Shit.
You okay?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Anywho,
We
TCU
got eyeball problems. At home.
KU.
Uh-oh. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I'm going with. I'm just rock chalk Jayhawk. Let's just ride with him. I'm gonna ride with him. I rode with him last week.
So you got him winning.
Oh, give it to me.
Pink eye, goopy eyeball problems.
Oh, that's never fun.
It's not pink. It's just Scoopy.
It's just.
Oh no, it's pink.
It's allergies.
It actually might be, so we're not sure.
It is allergy.
She's a big avocado fan, though. Found that out.
That's
You got who?
KU.
Yes.
KU.
Yes.
68 points is a lot of points under.
Yes.
Let's rock chalk Jayhawk.
Let's rock today.
These teams aren't stopping anybody.
Ride the hot.
So he's going over.
We're starting over.
Ooh.
And TCU is about to get on the train and just roll the Jayhawks.
You going
at home on
TCU
game.
over?
Yeah.
Completely opposite. Okay. That's
Okay. That's
TCU's winning this game like 45-38. 45-36. We don't want to push. Missed PAT.
okay.
2,
I'm just saying.
maybe 3.
It's going to be rocking. College game day. I wonder what are the stats on college game day of the home team? Anyone know that? It's got to be Googleable, right?
I mean, 45-31. We'll just go with that. That way it's not even in question. That feels reasonable.
That feels.
Max Dugan is a boss.
He is good.
He's finally
Iowa
healthy.
boy?
He's finally healthy.
Iowa boy.
As long as he can stay healthy.
Okay.
Home teams hold 134-94 all-time record.
In what? Game day? 100 and what?
134-94.
Wow.
What happened those 94 times?
They lost. What?
No, they won.
I'm gonna say my
134 times they lost.
No. What? I'm so
94
confused.
times they won.
No. Home team on college game day is 134-94. That's
And-
their record.
Yeah, 134 and 94. Meaning the wins are
134.
and the losses are.
94.
So what happened the 94 times?
They lost.
Yeah, that's my point.
You said they lost 134 times.
Yeah, you said you flipped that.
Okay. I said
He said, "Okay, pump the brakes."
that's what I was.
Old
sorry,
Smokey.
I don't know what.
Old Smokey's coming
that's
out.
Fair. That's fair.
I was so lost.
That's why I just said what happened in 94.
Oh, wow. All right.
All right, boys. I'm
My
gonna
point exactly.
I'm gonna blaze through these quick.
Mom.
Getting summoned.
Oh,
Duke
God, that's funny.
is my money line lock at -154. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't bet the Hawkeyes unless it's their under, but I'm betting the Hawkeyes at +3.5 because it's a hook line. Over under lock. Heavy money here. Southern Mississippi Troy over 43.5. And DGen pick, I'm just going with the Bulldogs. Fresno State Bulldogs, that is, at +250.
I wouldn't go with the Drake Bulldogs.
Yeah, don't go with them.
What is their line? Do they have a line?
They do.
They do. It's no.
take
It's
it.
no bueno.
Is it like +860?
It's bet against them
They're not.
and the under.
They
Take the under. Bet against them.
Is their defense is pretty good,
There's
though,
a
isn't it?
high probability they don't win a game.
Is their defense pretty good?
Not anymore.
They were to start the year, right?
I mean, they're
better-
okay.
it's better than their
bet-
offense.
It's light years better than their offense. They might not win a game.
Light years?
Welcome. Our fireside chat. This one's going to be It's going to be hot. A couple of topics will be overall trust in a relationship between your planner and yourself.
It's our job to figure out what's in the best interest for you.
We have to start this thing early.
How do I play this game patient enough to see this trade turn to fruition?
Real estate in general can have a lot of tax benefits to you.
Listen and subscribe to the No BS Wealth podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's time.